Hey friends, Pastor Andy here. Welcome to Making It Simple. Great to be with you today. Hope that you had a great weekend. We're kicking off a brand new week with a brand new study. And so today we're going to talk about purpose. Now, years ago, an industry was almost created through using that word purpose-driven. Okay, that is not where we're going. All right. So what we're going to look at is why? What's the reason? What do we do? Why do we do it? All these different questions we're going to look at. Because oftentimes what we find is here in life today, many people are struggling to find the answer to those questions. In my years of ministry and my years on the road, of course, I heard so many people utter and say, I have no reason to be here. I have no reason to get up. I have no reason, and we could go on and on with all the different things. But I want to share something with you that was recently kind of something that I was drawn to. We're going to look at Matthew chapter 5, just a couple of verses, 14 through 16. And I want you to hear something, all right? This is what Jesus said. You are the light of the world. That's going to be important in this study. You are the light of the world. A city situated on a hill cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a basket, but rather on a lampstand, and it gives light for all who are in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. Now, as we kick off this teaching today, purpose. What does it mean? Well, let's look at the word. All right. The word itself, purpose, means aim or intention. Now, in the opening words there, I said a lot of people struggle with the idea that they don't have a purpose. Maybe that's you today. Maybe you are wrestling with the idea of, well, Pastor, I don't know why I'm here. Well, I mean, what do I do? What do I accomplish? What do I contribute? Think about this for a minute. Let's go back to the definition of the word. I don't have a purpose. But let's use the definition of the word, all right? I have no aim and I have no intention. Well, that doesn't sound too good, does it? That doesn't sound productive. That doesn't sound like anything, because that's exactly where we get stuck, because we don't not only just understand the meaning sometimes of a word, but what happens is when we feel that way, and emotions absolutely guide our actions all the time. But when we feel that way, what we drive ourselves to is to stop looking. That's when it becomes a problem. It's not because you don't have it figured out today. Maybe you don't know where you're going. Maybe you don't know where you are. Maybe you don't know all the answers to every question. Maybe you haven't settled things in your life spiritually and emotionally and all the other things that we wrestle with. But if you quit, you're never going to get there. If you don't look, you will never find it. So purpose, we have to go back. Aim and intent. Aim and intention. Do I have an intention? Do I have an aim? Do I have a goal? Do I have any reason whatsoever to look for something else? Because if you have that, if you feel that at all, then you have absolute purpose. What we find in the words of Christ is a drive, a goal, a pursuit, if you will. We're going to spend seasons in life, every single one of us. I don't care who we are. I don't care how important we think we are, what title we carry. Everybody is going to go through a season in life that we're going to be unsure about stuff. That's reality. I wrestle with that right now. Okay? I am very sure about me. and who I am at this stage in life. But there's a lot of things around me that I'm not as sure about, that I wish I had a little more clarity on. But the more that I look, the more that I realize there's a whole lot I don't know. The more that I look, the more desire I have to keep looking because I want to know. That's purpose. We find absolutes when it comes to what God desires for us. All right. That again, that's a whole nother topic about understanding that, because the spiritual journey for everybody is different. All right. And sadly, it's become a battleground in that realm because we have such a differentiation of belief systems. And I'm not talking about the world religions. I'm talking about within the body of Christ. It is so divisive, friends, whether it's the Bible translation that you carry. I saw a video just this past weekend of another guy in a pulpit railing and screaming and spitting all over everybody on the front row about how he saw a sign at the end of a road that he was recently traveling in his community that was advertising a children's camp, a children's, Bible school or something, VBS, we call them, Vacation Bible School, what something anyhow, at a local church. And they were inviting all the kids in the community to come. This guy was railing and screaming, and I mean literal. If I had the link, I would add it here on this video. It was the most embarrassing thing I've seen in a long time, about how there was no way on earth he could send his children to that place to go to their Bible school because they didn't use the King James Bible. Friends, I want us to look at purpose. I want us to understand what is God trying to show us? What does this passage from the words of Christ, what is it telling us about that word? Remember, aim and intention. That's very important because it will carry us through the entirety of this study. So as we look at this teaching that we're going to call purpose, as we look deeply at the word purpose and how it applies to every one of us, and that is seasoned believer, that is a brand new believer, and even the non-believer. Because, friends, in the eyes of God, we all count, all right? And we miss that. We miss that. How do we determine, okay, if we understand the words of Christ himself, I have come to seek, that is to intentionally look for, and save, that is to rescue from danger, the lost. Now, many times within the confines of a church, we hear, we want to be about that. We want to be about, the Great Commission and tell everybody about Jesus. We want to reach lost people. Do you? Do you? Reach them with what? Your philosophy and your denominationalism and your theology and your understanding, or what Jesus actually said? Because they're two very different things. And I say that as a pastor. Okay, so the one that is looking for answers in life, that's what this message is for. Regardless of where you are in life. Maybe you got it all figured out. Maybe you're in the middle. Maybe you have nothing figured out. And maybe you're saying, well, I have no purpose. You have no aim and intent? None? I don't think that's true. Let's find out. Let's look a little deeper. Let's have a good time in this discussion. Let's spend some time together over the next several days, maybe even over the next week or so, as we look at this beautiful message, purpose, because we all have one. And I believe that with all my heart. God bless you. Thank you for joining me today for Making It Simple as we kick off a brand new teaching series today. Purpose. Do I have one? Yes, you do. Let's help and find it.